Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back to Sue's Paper Creations. If you happen to catch me live this morning, I made the cutest little Easter basket with a nice kind of curved edge to it, and it has a cute little. Well, here it is. Here, a cute little paper edge to it. Isn't that the sweetest? And you know me. I can't just stop at making a small one. I had to figure out the measurements to make a larger one, twice the size, out of a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. So earlier today, if you happen to join me, I made this one out of a 6 by 6, and I will quickly show you the measurements so that you can take a screenshot. But it's really easy to do, and it's a sweet little project to work on this weekend because Easter is coming up next weekend. So I wanted to be able to hop on. I was going to save this for another day, and I thought, nope, I'm going to hop on and I'm going to show you a larger Easter basket this afternoon. So it is Friday. We do have a cuppa. We create and we connect. Well, guess what? It's take two. So I'm now having, this morning actually I just drank water, but I have just made myself a iced honey cinnamon latte. So that is what I am going to enjoy as I show you how to make a larger Easter basket. All right, so cheers. If you want to grab a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, right now you can create along with me, okay? Let me head on down to my workspace here. Let me just see, why do I not have this up and going? There it is, perfect. Okay. All right, so here we have got a larger size, a bolder color. I'm going to go for something really pretty for Easter. Hello, how are you, Lori and Donda and Barbara? I'm glad that some of you are catching me. Like I said, this is very last minute, but I could not stop at just making a small little Easter basket. I had to rejig the recipe so that we could make a larger one, and that way you can make them this weekend. I also, maybe I will probably wait till tomorrow, but I also have the recipe for a medium-sized one as well. So I will end up posting all the measurements for all three sizes, but I had to hop on and make a large one live with you because I think this is going to be really adorable, and it's going to be so pretty because I'm going to make the basket actually out of this beautiful darker kind of winey red color, and then I am going to put a trim of this Moody Mauve pattern paper on there. We're going to also add on some cute little adorable bunnies, and because it's going to be a larger basket, I'm thinking we might need something kind of in this area where it all comes together, just to add our bunnies on with. So I've got those on standby. Okay, I hope you guys are having a great day, and let's get started. Okay, we're hopping right in. So if you want to grab, like I said, a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, then you can definitely join along. Here is your recipe. So if you are wanting to grab a screenshot, my camera's crooked, isn't it? Let me see. Is that better? Nope, that's worse. Other way. There we go. A little bit better. If you want to grab a screenshot, there are your measurements for a larger Easter basket. Okay, these little these little scratch marks here are where we're going to cut. Okay, and these measurements that go across here, 1, 2, 3, 4, we cut them the same at this across the top as well. And then the 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and we're going to do some scoring to start. Okay, so let's hop in, shall we? Yeah, so if you are tuning in, welcome back. If you saw me this morning, my name is Sue Phillip. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Victoria, BC, British Columbia. Joining me here in Canada, and we are going to create the cutest little Easter basket, okay? So, with a 12 by 12, here we go. Are we ready? We are going to take our 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. I'm just going to adjust my camera because this is a larger, and I think I'm charged enough. I'm going to get rid of that. Again, I decided to jump on instantly, and as soon as I figured this out, and I'm going to make the first one with you, of course, because that's what I like to do, okay? So here we go. We are going to score our 12 by 12 sheet at 4 inches. Okay, let's jump on in. So we're going to go 4 inches, and then I have to open up my trimmer here, and then we're going to go at 8 inches. So we're going to score at 4 and 8. Okay. Then we are going to rotate it 90 degrees. And we are going to go again at scoring at 4 and 8 inches. I can't wait to see what the basket's going to look like in this color. I think it's going to be adorable. Okay. It's it's a lot kind of more of a wine color than what it shows up on camera. So it's kind of more of a pinky color, which is pretty. Now we are going to start doing some cutting. I'm going to reference this here. Okay. I am going to start cutting. We have scored. These are our score lines. So we have scored our 4 and 8, and then we rotated and we scored at 4 and 8, right? Hello, Ruth. Hello, Linda. Welcome. So now what we're going to do is we are going to cut these lines here. So we're cutting from the top to this score line, okay? And then we're not cutting in here, but then we're going to cut from here to here. So earlier today, I wanted it to kind of go a little bit slower because more people were, you know, kind of prepared and were joining me with a 6 by 6. So I wanted to score the lines first and then take the scissors and cut them. But I'm jumping right on in because we've made one today. So I am going to go ahead and here we go. We're going to use our cutting blade, and I'm going to start with the measurements, and I will take pictures of the recipes for both the small and the large basket, and don't worry, I will post them. Okay. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to go at 1 3/8 is our first measurement, 1 3/8. And I am going to, it's hard for you to see on camera here, but I've got my score line right here. So I'm going to cut up to that score line, okay, which is the 4-inch mark from the edge of the paper to here. And then I'm going to pick up my blade, and I'm bringing it up to here, which is 4 inches from this end, popping it back in and cutting up to the top. Okay, so there is the 1 3/8, and I've already cut this piece and this piece. We're getting efficient this afternoon. Okay, then our next cut is going to be at 2.5, and I'm going to start at the top here. And I'm going to work down to, I'm going to stand up so I can see, down to the 4 inches from the top. Then I'm going to lift my blade up, pop it back in once I hit this score line down here, and cut to the bottom. Okay, and look at that. There are our cuts, top and bottom. Okay, now I still have to cut these ones here as well. So I'm going to, was that 2? And it was 2.5. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to cut along that score line, and again to that point, bring it down and cut again. Okay, all right, we're going to do the same on the other side. We ready? So I'm going to go in at 8 inches. We have to cut along the score line here first, because we have to create our, go here and there. We have to create our 3 little tabs here is what we're doing. Okay, then we're going to go at 9 1/4. So I'm going to go to 9 1/4. And again, all these measurements I will post later, like that. And then I'm going to go to 10 5/8. So there's 10 5/8. Okay. 1 and 2. There we go. There is our tabs ready to go. Okay. So our next thing that we have to do in making this basket is we have to mark our middle space, which is 6 inches. And I'm going to take my pen and I'm just going to make a little mark at the top and at the bottom at 6 inches. Okay, so there's my top and bottom at 6 inches. Now I can see this little cut line was off a little bit, but I think it's going to go together just fine. I am not worried. I will tweak the measurements a little bit. Okay, all right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a ruler, and we need to just make a little line from this 6-inch mark down to this corner. Okay, now normally I probably wouldn't use a marker or something dark like this to do this, but I want you guys to be able to see it, to visualize it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same down here. So this is the exact same basket as we made this morning, which was a little version with a 6x6, and I've just tweaked it a little bit so that we could make it in a 12x12. Okay, all right, so we've got our 3 tabs on each side, top and bottom. We have our little triangles, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to cut these out. Now, little disclosure here. I've not actually made this size yet. Mind you, I hadn't made the small one either this morning before, and it turned out fantastic. So, fingers crossed that this size, if I just double the recipe here, that this size goes well too. Right? We just go for positive energy. We got this, right? Okay. There we have it. Our starting point for now making this. I am going to take my bone folder and I'm going to just burnish all of these pieces. Just like this. Like that. Yeah, this one's definitely a little bit wider. That's okay. As long as the end ones are the same, we are good. Okay, let's do the same here. And do the same here. So I'm just burnishing all of these like that. Okay. Oh, and this one. Can't forget this one. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to burnish this one in like that. And I'm going to burnish this one in. Okay. All right, so I want to bring in my original size here, which is this little tiny one. You can see how this is going to be twice the size. So we'll see how this goes. So this one this morning we made, so you can catch us on the replays. But I've also got the recipe, and I'll post both the baskets with the measurements so that you can give it a try. But you can see a little bit of shading right along the edges of all of these tabs. And what it did is it just added a little bit of texture to it. We also added this beautiful plaid, the timeless plaid, around the top edge and across the handle. So I want to go ahead and I want to do the same. It may not be as noticeable because it is a darker color, but I think it's still going to make a difference having that little bit of shading on the edges. Okay, it just adds a little shadow in there, makes it look like it's more 3D. So I'm going to turn this over, and we are going to, we're going to cover up this hoe edge and this hoe edge with beautiful paper, which creates this lip all the way around. What we're going to do is we're just going to shadow, and I should have thought of that when I made the first one. We didn't need to add some shading around the first tab because we cover it up. So, you know, live and learn. Here we go. So I'm going to bring in some Moody Mauve, and I am going to fold back those tabs there, and I'm just going to add a little bit of coloring around the edges of these ones, and you will end up noticing it more when the basket is together, for sure. Because it is a darker color, you can go ahead and you can rub a little bit harder because you're going over a darker color. Unlike our little one today, it was a light color, right? So I'm just going more right along those edges. Okay. And yeah, you can see how there's that little tiny difference between the two. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do the same with this one. See, I think this is off a little bit because it is a little bit wider, but like I said, I'll have a look at the measurements and I will tweak them a little bit. I think I may have, the measurements I think are right. I think I just measured wrong as I was scoring. Okay. So I'm going to do the same on this one. So just pulling them back allows you to get that shading on the edges. And I know that it may be hard to visualize what we're doing right at this moment, but this is going to make a difference in your basket for sure. Okay, and the middle one. So again, using the Moody Mauve and just going up and down here like this. I was hoping that I actually had a 12 by 12 sheet of the Moody Mauve left because I just thought it would be really pretty to do it in a slightly lighter color. But I'm excited to see what this richer color looks like. Okay, we're going to do this one because the Moody Mauve is going out of circulation with, let's see, Boho Blue, Pebble Path, Wild Wheat, and Copper Clay. So those ones are all going out of circulation. If they haven't already run out, which they may have. So I have literally depleted all of the Moody Mauve that I had. Such a pretty, pretty color. So I happened to just find in my stash this darker color. And to tell you the truth, I don't think it isn't an in color because it is definitely not Berry Burst. It's one from probably years ago, but I was looking for a color that would go with Moody Move, and this I think is going to look beautiful. So that's the fun thing when you're doing all these 3D projects. Have fun with just you know, grabbing what you've got. Use up your 12, like this is a basket, it's going to be larger, 12 by 12 starting piece rather than the 6 by 6, but use up the 12 by 12 pieces you have with scraps. It's a great way, the way we're decorating this and using up, there's all of our little bit of shading, and you can definitely see the shading in there. We want to shade around the edges. This is going to be the edges of the actual basket. And by edges is it's going to be this edge right along here. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of color just along here as well. Just like that. Just to darken up that edge just a little bit. And then we're going to fold the other side like so, and go on this side too. You definitely don't have to do the shading, but you know, I like the little details of that little bit of deeper color, which makes it look a little more 3D. Okay. Shading is done. Let's see, I did get a little bit of Moody Mauve ink on my fingers. Hopefully that will be okay. All right, so here's the inside. Here is the outside. Can you see the shading now? When I put it down, a little bit of shading all the way around. Hello again, Judy. I am going to add on our pieces that are going to go and wrap around the top of the basket. So with this is a directional paper. I want to make sure that when it goes together, let's just have a look. This is going to go together like that. Yes, perfect. That your flowers are growing in the right direction. So the towards the outside of the edges is going to be the upper edge of the basket. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue down this beautiful edge. It's going to be so pretty. Doesn't that go nice with the Moody Mauve? Okay. I think this might have been a burgundy color that we had at one point. Anyway, it's making its return for a basket. And then this is towards the outside is going to be the top edge. So just make sure your flowers are growing in the right direction. If you're using a directional piece, there we go. Okay, so there's our edges. Now we're going to do a fold, do a little fold, do a little fold, and do a little fold. Okay, we're ready to put this together. Shall we do it? Let's do it. So we're going to turn it this direction. I am going to use my point and I'm going to add some glue onto it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start from the inside out. So I'm going to take, I got to put it this way so you can see. So I'm going to take the first tab on this side, on the inside, and I'm going to cross it over so that the tip of the edge there, okay, is flush with the edge of the point, okay? I'm going to add some glue. So we're going to be adding a few layers of glue in here. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, that one is a little thicker, so it is going across a little bit more. That's okay. Okay, so there is our first crossover. See the shading in there? Okay, I'm going to add a little more glue. And we're going to take the next one. We're going to cross it over and we're going to bring it down just slightly like that. So see how this is creating the edge of the basket? I'm going to bring it over like that. Okay, and then I'm going to add more glue. This all gets trimmed up really pretty, so don't worry if it looks a bit of a mess right now. Okay, I just want to get my crossovers right. It's looking pretty good. Okay, so see, there is the side of the basket. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to bring in, I'm going to add the glue down a little more. We are going to bring in our decorative piece, which is going to go straight across like this. So I actually want this one up a little more. Hold on, you got to come up like that. And then this is going to go across. Okay, and then I'm going to add some glue. And then this one's going to go across. Okay, so you want these two last pieces to make it so that they go straight across. This is what you want it to look like on the side. Okay. So cute. All right, so there's our one side done. I am going to take a little clip, just like I did this morning, and I'm just going to hold all of those pieces together, let the glue set. Okay, I'm going to work on the other side. Look at the difference between our little basket and the size that we're doing right now. Huge, right? I am going to do a size in between. I've already got the measurements and the recipe all done, and I will do a size that's in between tomorrow so that you can see an in-between size too. Okay, so I'm going to start with closest to the inside, and we're going to cross. Then we're going to add some glue. Then we're going to take this side and we're going to cross. Okay, so we're doing a little crisscross. So I think what I'm going to do, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for baskets for our house for Easter. I'm going to bring this one down a little bit more like that. A little bit. And at our house for Easter, I mean, the twins are 28. So Sarah and Katie are 28 now. That still blows my mind. Going to be 29 in August. And Molly is 22 already. Like, it's just crazy. I don't know how that happens, because it's not like I've aged at all. I don't think, at least, but I must have, right? Funny how that happens, right? Okay, we're gonna do our crossovers here for the top. So we're gonna go this one here. Oh, this looks so cool. And then, okay, let's cross over this one like that. Amazing. Okay, perfect. So I do want to make sure that this has got enough glue to hold it. So what we have been doing since they've been young adults is I'm going to add my little clip on this side. Like, look at how big that basket is. That is a good size. You could fill that full of so much goodness. And let's see, it is, well, it would be 4 inches, well, not quite 4 inches. Pretty close to 4 inches tall, because it curves a little bit in there. And then width-wise, we're looking at 6.5 at the top. Okay, so that is a good size. So what we tend to do is I still do like a little Easter egg hunt for them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these baskets, and I am going to fill them full of goodness. And then I'm going to hang them from the trees, I think. I think that's what they're going to do. Still look good. Thank you, Laura. I wish that you were here to hop around the backyard this weekend, or next weekend, I should say. Laura knows she's had to hop, I think. I believe you were a hopper one year. But what I make, like, my children must just love me. Because what I do is, even though they are the age they are, I'm going to make the little handle now, okay, is I do hide things in the backyard. And then I make them actually, they have to like hold their hands like on their head like their ears, and I actually make them hop, literally hop around the backyard. And Laura says a couple of times, and I make them hop. It's my entertainment for Easter. Me and Katie and I watch them hop around from place to place. And yeah, they have to hop. They literally have to hop. They get exhausted. It's so funny. But they have to hop to find their treasures. So they are like adults hopping around in the backyard like bunny rabbits. It's awesome. And Katie and I get a good laugh out of it. I'm going to just curve this just a smidgen like that. And then they get to grab their treats. Okay, so there is, I thought I'd line it with a little bit of white just to lighten it up a bit. Now, these little points here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them off. We don't need them anymore. They were just guidelines for us for crossing over. You could fold them in if you wanted to, but I'm going to just cut them off even with the top. But they're guidelines for folding in the different sides. Okay. I should take a video. I just might do that. You know what? I think one year I may even put it on my story, possibly, of them hopping around. Yeah. Okay. I'm just waiting for the year that they make Lance and I do that. Don't give them any ideas, Laura. Okay, so then we are going to put this on the inside like this. And there is our basket. Like, that's a good size. Okay, that's the 12 by 12. All right, now we have to decorate it up a little bit. Now that this is crossed like this, and you can see that little bit of shading. You see a tiny bit of shading on there? It just adds a little bit of depth as they crisscross there. Same with here, just a tiny bit of shading. Like, this is this difference. I can't believe the difference, actually. I'm surprised at the size difference between, this was a 6 by 6 piece of cardstock, and this is a 12 by 12. And really, it is definitely more than double the size. Like, it's huge compared to this one. This is so cute though. So what I'm going to do, because it is a larger one, I'm going to, I think, add, I may need, because of the size of this basket, I think I'm going to add both of these. I'm just going to put it on one side for now. I'll probably decorate up the other side the same in a little bit. Let's see, because I think that's going to be too small. So I'm going to layer it up like this, and I'm going to add this right here. So I just have to be careful of the glue, because there's just going to be this open space, right? So I want to put the glue so that it goes onto the handle a little bit and then onto the side of the basket. Just like that. And I think I'm safe. Yep. Whew. I'm safe. Okay, so that's going to go there. And then I think I'm going to pop out the circle that's in the center. Just like this. And then I've got two cute little bunnies left. I just dropped a bunch of my Easter Bunny cards down to the local flower stand. That's where they have my cards. And they had these cute little bunnies on them. I just didn't get that one piece popped out. Let's see. I'll have to pop it out with my, there it is. I'm going to take my pick tool. Can't have this piece in here. It's just not looking right. There. That's what I want. Got to get rid of that. Okay. All right. That's better. So there is those on there. And then I'm going to put our cute little bunnies onto the side here. Aren't they sweet? I did so many of these little rabbits, and they were all over the craft room having a good time, and they went on some cute little cards. And then I had enough for the small basket, and let's put these guys just like that together. And then we're going to do a little Happy Easter onto here. And I think I have a Happy Easter in the stamp set. Here it is, Storybook Friends. So this is where all of these cute little spring critters are. We've got squirrels in here, hedgehog, and then some bunnies. And I'm going to take I could do Happy Spring, but I think I'm going to do although I think that is not going to fit on there. So I'm going to use this one because I just happen to have it in my space, and I will cut it down. That's what I'll do. And I'm going to do it in, let's do the Moody Mode. Let's do the Moody Mode, shall we? We'll stick it in the center like that. And, oh, hold on. 2 sides to every piece of paper. And I was being impatient. Yeah. Got to hold it down. Let it transfer. Right? I need to take my own advice. Okay. Now, my little cutter is put away. So I'm going to just trim this just down a little bit. Like that. And we're going to put a little Easter greeting on here. Okay. Let's see. I think that should do it. All right. Let's have a look. Let's see how this is going to go. Oh yeah, that is adorable. Okay. So we're going to add our Easter greeting, and then I'm going to put a bow on the handle of the basket. And I'll just use, I've got this pretty ribbon that's out. I wanted something slightly thicker than this morning because it is a bigger basket. Let's put that like that. And maybe a few little cute embellishments would be nice too. Let's see if I've got a few here. I did have, see if I still have them out. Nope, let's grab them. You know what? I'm going to break open a new embellishment. I'm going to break open these ones. These are holographic resin dots. Okay. This is a new little embellishment that is from, it's going to be in, trying to think if these ones are on the online exclusives or in the new catalog. One of the two. It's brand new. We're going to put one down here like that. Okay. And then let's do a ribbon. It is adorable, isn't it? I am just blown away. I really am at the size difference. Like this, and it's, I just can't believe it. And it is, it makes me think like this looks like it was just a little tiny 4x4 sheet of cardstock, but this was a 6x6, and this is made out of a 12x12. So I am going to do another, I'm going to put it on the top. I'm going to do another one. And maybe I'll just do like a reel for it, but I'm going to give the recipe out for a size that's in between using, that's cute, just on top like that, using a 9x9 sheet. So halfway in between. And I will take a picture with all of the baskets beside each other. And it'll be interesting to see the difference on the size of the 9x9 one. If it is a huge jump or not. Okay, I'm gonna just twist my ribbon the right way. And there we have got our Easter basket. So this was this morning, 6x6. This is a 12x12 piece of cardstock. Exact same way to put them together. I like this color. I think it's quite cheery and cute for the Easter Bunny coming next weekend, right? So there we go. You know me, I can't just stop at doing just one of something. I have to figure out how to do other sizes. So there is your small and your large. I will be creating the medium one. Like I said, I'll probably just do a reel instead of another video so you can see what the medium one is like. And I'm going to show you the recipes. If you want to take a photo, here is the recipe. Hold on, it's flying away. Here is the recipe for the small basket. Okay, which is the 6x6. So you can do a little screenshot. Okay, and then here is our huge one, and I have to double check on my side or on my measurements here. Let's see here. That is 1 3/8. This is there's the difference there. This is actually 1 3/8. 2.5. That is 2 3/4. There's the difference. That was the difference. 2 3/4. Okay, that's what the difference is. There you go. 1 3/8, 2 3/4. That's where it went wrong. All right, so there you have it. There's our big one. All right, and I'm just gonna head on back up here. There we go. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the large version here and for putting up with me twice in one day. But look what we have. So cute. Give them a try. And yeah, if you end up creating one, let me know, okay? Make one up and let me know. I would love to see what it turned out like. Maybe post a photo of it in the comments, all right? So we can all share what we created. All right, everyone. So some projects for you for this weekend to get ready for next weekend, okay? Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you Sunday morning for a little step up design, okay? 9 o'clock. Bye.